couple months ago, I was in a rut of life. I felt like I wasn't moving forwards while also not moving backwards. And when nothing inherently felt wrong, it didn't feel right either. While I was making the amount of money I wanted to make, was living the lifestyle I wanted to, becoming more physically fit, spending time with my family and friends, eating healthy, I didn't feel purposeful. I didn't feel like satisfied with where I was. And this was because of my goals. Now, setting goals for yourself inherently isn't bad, but at a certain point it becomes limiting. Let's say you are a runner. You want to identify yourself as a runner, just to become more fit, more active, more disciplined. Running is often hard, and the ultimate goal for many runners is run a marathon, at least once in their life. 26.1 miles often takes hours, and you train for months, maybe even years on end, and you're very disciplined in your goal of pursuing a marathon. You train day in, day out, run miles every day, every week, months, years, and eventually you run the marathon. You achieve your goal. You fulfill what you set yourself up to do. But what now? For many people, they might stop. There's no motivation beyond running the marathon anymore. They've completed the goal they've set themselves. They've limited themselves to a marathon, but what now? And why can your efforts, why do you show up day in, day out if there's no goal in the end? And this is the pitfall of goals, is they limit you once you complete them. While you may feel satisfied in the chase for a year or two and running the marathon, or 3 or 4 years if you have a higher goal than a marathon, but once you achieve the goal, there's no guarantee that you will continue going. And this comes down to one shift, in aligning yourself not with completing goals, but fulfilling a higher identity or purpose. Now let's say instead of choosing to align yourself as someone who's going to run a marathon, you align yourself with someone who is a runner. You may not have that pitfall after the marathon because that goal of being a runner is not complete. After you run a marathon, you're not done. You're still a runner. You still have more to complete. You still have more purpose, and your identity is not compromised. Your goals are not completed. If your identity is yourself, you're still a runner. And this is the shift I had to take. Aligning myself with my own goals was, am I someone who wants to achieve something and focus on something that I can obtain in 5 or 10 years? Or am I going to align myself with something higher, with an identity that I can live on throughout? Am I going to just be someone who lifts a certain amount of weights, or makes a certain amount of money, or has a certain car? Or am I going to be someone that's an athlete, that's an entrepreneur? That's something higher than a futile amount. And aligning yourself with this higher power may at first be confusing, but if you take the time to sit down and learn and write down and figure out what you really want for yourself, finding these things may not be as difficult. And so the key takeaway is, don't align yourself with futile goals that can be set or accomplished in a few years. Align yourself with a higher identity that will fulfill you beyond your imaginable goals and provide motivation for yourself beyond what you can see already.